Good day guys, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be discussing the importance of backing up your data. Matt, let's first look at a couple of points. What are the causes of data loss?
Sure, Jill, it's quite a few, I'll be honest. So let's look at the first and foremost thing. You could have hardware failure. Everything that's tangible in terms of hardware is going to have an expiration date. Also depending, we take a hard drive for example, and how frequently you use that hard drive. That thing can pack up at any stage. So that's one thing. You then look at viruses as well as malware. So they're all designed as well to infect files on a hard drive and eventually also cause hard drive failure. So that is one of the concerns when it comes to data loss. You then look at human error, which is also very common. So you have somebody responsible in an organization to make sure the information is backed up onto an external hard drive, and that can be forgotten for 2 days and you're missing 2 days of transactions. Theft is another one. This is probably the most, or the biggest one given the country and the crime stats, and we hear it all the time, businesses being broken into and their hardware and everything stolen along with that. And if you don't have any backups, it's a problem. Your information's gone. It's as easy as that. So then there's another point I must say is hackers. We also see that quite often in terms of hackers getting into your PC and taking your information. At the end of the day, they target that because they know how important it is and they demand a ransom for it. So either way, you're going to lose all your information, or it's going to cost you a lot of money. So those are just some of the reasons.
So we've looked at the cause of data loss. What is the effects that data loss can have on a business?
So just to go back on that, so that's just some of the causes of data loss. There's probably a few that I didn't mention, but this can have a big impact on any business. We even look at it on a more personal level. Someone backing up their photos that mean a lot to them on a hard drive, and then boom, the stuff's gone. So the impact this has on businesses is quite large. Number one, you're going to disrupt your day-to-day functions. I mean, everything in an organization and a company, everything you work on is data, essentially. It's the most important asset of any business, is the data. So how do your staff remain productive without that? So your business kind of comes to a stop without the information. And then we look at trust from your clients. You're a company that prides yourself in giving 100% client satisfaction, and the next minute all your information's gone. And what you as a consumer approaching a business knowing that that's happened, are you going to easily go back to that?
And it gets out on social media,
exactly.
Makes the news.
Exactly. So there's another reason, which is costs associated with that. I mean, there's substantial costs associated with losing your data.
Let's look at this. Substantial costs, that's not something that any business wants on top of their other expenses. So what is the cost that you're looking for or looking at when needing to recover this data?
I can say it is expensive, and I'll give you a scenario that we had a client the other day that something very simple that can happen to anyone at any given time is literally their external hard drive, which had about 1 terabyte of information on it, was knocked off a desk. But just fall off the desk. Doesn't matter how.
That's not a very big fall.
No, it's not. It literally
meter.
Not even.
Okay.
Not even. And the reality is the hard drive hit the floor and it bummed out. So nothing left. The hard drive cannot be repaired. And thankfully though that the client had their data backed up. And the reason I say that is, out of curiosity, to have a look at an exercise like this in terms of getting your data recovered, you're looking at around between 5,000 and 8,000 Rand, and that's just on a 1 terabyte data size, and that is purely for labor alone. And with that, there's still no guarantee that your data is going to be recovered. So that literally, if you're a business with a lot of information and you need to do some form of data recovery, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands of Rands.
Matt, you've covered what can cause data loss, you've covered the effects of data loss for a business. What are some of the simple and effective solutions or steps that can be taken to ensure that your backups are being done?
Jill, there's a few ways in which data backups can be done, and we find traditionally a lot of people are quite happy with storing their information on an external hard drive. And the challenge there is the example.
It can fall off the table.
Well, exactly, and your data is gone. So I'm going to gear towards the cloud here. A lot of people are intimidated by the cloud because it's such a broad concept. But so I'm going to touch on cloud backups instead. So in one form or another, we all use the cloud on a daily basis, whether we know it or not. And a lot of people get intimidated by the word. But it's really simple. It just means that your information is backed up, but it's nowhere in your building. It is going into the cloud via the internet. It is then getting backed up in a secure location. So should anything happen to your hardware, like it being stolen or like the hard drive crashing, your hardware is going to be backed up. It's not to say you can't use an external hard drive. By all means you can, if that's what you prefer. But remember, if something again happens to that, and also human error that falls into that. Someone's responsible for backing up the external hard drive. It just takes a simple forgetting to do it, and you're going to miss a day's transactions. So you can have an external hard drive, but you can also apply backups, cloud backups on top of that. But ideally, what you want to do is to have cloud backups, taking that information and seeking it into the cloud. And it's not, from a cost point of view, it's not as expensive as people make it out to be. It's quite a simple, cost-effective solution that carries a monthly payment. So yes, it's depending on the size of your information, but it's really not for what it is, it's not an expensive solution. And it's the same concept as, you go buy a car, Jill, and the first thing you do when you drive that car out the dealership,
take insurance.
Well, you have to. They force you, number one, to take insurance. And why that is because obviously if you get in an accident or anything like that, you don't want to sit with that liability and you still have to pay it off for something you don't have. The exact same concept applies to data backups and ensuring that your data is safe. So I'm not saying your data is more important than a car, but it's just as important to your business. And there should be no reason why it's so easy to go and insure something, but your data remains unsafe. So I think that's the mentality we need to drive towards and build awareness on.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. Bye guys.
Bye-bye.